I was scrolling through my comment section the other day and I come across one comment in particular that was like, okay, cool video, but can we talk about what the hell Gypsy Rose Blanchard is doing? And I was like, I'm unaware. So I took my little arse over onto Google and I searched up Gypsy, and what popped up? She wants to work at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with working at a fast food restaurant. Do what you gotta do. Secure the bag, however you can secure the bag. But it's interesting that she was living up this whole famous life. She was like really enjoying being like this little celebrity. And now she's saying it's just too much for her. She's ready to ditch it and just grind a 9 to 5. When Gypsy got out, a lot of people were talking about her, a lot of people were covering her, and I wanted to as well, but I didn't feel like it was really that appropriate, at least for me to start covering her, because one, I have kind of an unpopular opinion about the situation. I will refrain from saying it right now, but I have an unpopular opinion about that whole situation. But not just that, Missy Ma'am never really got to experience life out on her own, so I feel like her just getting out of jail and then everybody jumping on covering like everything that she's doing, I just kind of felt like that was a little bit distasteful. I have made 2 videos in the past talking about her, but I just didn't want to cover her every single move because it was really her first time being out there by herself, and she wasn't even really by herself because then she had that Ryan Anderson, her husband at the time. I just wanted her to be able to figure out who she was and let her get her grip on social media with how she wants to portray herself before I started picking apart shit. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Gypsy Rose Blanchard, I'm sure if you clicked on this video, you know who the hell she is. But just in case you're unfamiliar, she corresponded with her boyfriend at the time to unalive her mother, who had Munchausen by proxy disorder, and the mom really put Gypsy through the ringer. She put this little girl through hell. Gypsy and her boyfriend did do jail time over this, but Gypsy was released after just serving 85% of her prison time. She was sentenced to 10 years, served 85% of it, about 7 years, and she got released on good behavior. When she got released, people were like eagle vision on her. Like they just had eagle eyes, and the sights were set dead on Gypsy. Everybody was so interested to see what her steps were going to be, what she was going to be doing with her life, and people were really surprised because when she was in prison, a lot of people were making jokes saying she's going to be like the next big influencer. Then she got out of jail and became the next big influencer. I did see a post a while ago where she was doing some incriminating shit on her, what was it, on TikTok or Instagram or something, and her parole officer made her delete it. So that was interesting. But she's talking about going to work at 9 to 5, and we're just going to be watching this interview. Then I'm going to be giving commentary either after or like bits in between. Let's just dive into it.
What is your plan? Do you plan to try to go get a normal job, a 9 to 5, or do you think you're too prominent of a public figure at this point where having like a conventional job and a conventional lifestyle is sort of out of the question?
When things calm down and I have no obligations, I do want to get a 9 to 5. But first, I have to kind of learn the things that get me there. So I'm still working on like driving. I need to get my driver's license, as I said before. So to get to a job, I need to know how to drive.
What is that 9 to 5?
Part of me is kind of like, maybe I should just go work at McDonald's.
Well, I love those French fries. You do love those French fries.
I love those French fries. I don't know.
They're so good.
Is there?
But I do like retail too. So maybe something in the mall, like makeup, like Sephora or something, because I love makeup.
Yeah. So the plan is to have a normal life. You're not,
Yeah.
interested in being a full-time public figure walking red carpets.
No. I think that everything has been very hyped up, and I've had wonderful opportunities, but I don't see those lasting. And I think that there comes a time where I have to make a choice.
I'm gonna give her credit on this because I feel like a lot of influencers have such a big head they can't even fit it in most rooms whenever it comes to just the ego that they have and how they carry themselves, and they think that because they have a little bit of online fame now, it's gonna last forever, and that's not the case. I think Jason Nash and the Vlog Squad are like a prime example of this because they were making millions at a point, and David Dobrik, to my knowledge, is now making millions on Snapchat. But Jason Nash was a part of that Vlog Squad, and he thought that he was going to have that financial security like forever and that fame forever. And then when the Vlog Squad had split up, Jason had to resort to e-begging on TikTok, saying he couldn't pay his mortgage. And I'm bringing him up because instead of him going to seek a job and accepting the fact that he's not going to be famous or have this online security forever, he decided to just get on TikTok and start e-begging instead of doing what Gypsy's doing here, where she's like, I don't foresee this being something for me forever, so I want financial and job security somewhere else, such as maybe a 9 to 5 where I have to go and grind and work my way up instead of whatever the hell she's doing online now. Gypsy's net worth is 3 million, and from my knowledge, what I've seen online is that's what she's acquired doing these interviews and talking about the things that she has gone through with her mother. So she has financial security as of right now, to where she can take this time off the internet, she can go figure out the job situation, and her talking about she's going to go try to get her license, she's working on the whole driving thing, it just goes to show you that she's probably really serious about stepping down from the internet to pursue a normal job. But do I think it's going to last? I have no damn idea. I really don't know. I just know for a fact that she missed a lot of time in her life to just be a normal person. She spent a majority of it in jail now, and she's 32 years old, and she's just being able to navigate and start figuring out life. I think she's talking about doing this because so far, again, in her life, she's had no sense of normality. So I feel like for her to be able to get offline, go get a job, drive to her job, pick up change, you know what I mean? Like do certain things. I feel like that's her sense of normality. She really is just trying to do better for herself. My air conditioner just had a seizure.
I will be taking a little bit of a step back from social media just to prioritize my family, prioritize my relationship with Ken, and just save a little bit of those special moments for family and just keep it a little bit more personal. My personal choice that I'm prioritizing my own mental health, my family. I don't think there's anything wrong with having occasional check-ins with yourself that, hey, if you need to pull back a little bit, that's okay. If you want to take a step forward a little bit, that's okay. But knowing when to do so is probably the healthiest option.
Yeah, it's interesting her being back on TikTok though, and TikToking with Jeffree Star. That was something that I expected but didn't expect at the same time. She has talked multiple times though about that whole stigma of being the capital M word. She said multiple times, like, it's just sticking with her. She doesn't want people to keep looking at her like that. She just wants to be normal and feel accepted in whatever community she's deciding to be a part of. And I understand that, but again, at the same time, the things she's went through and how publicized that her life and her story is, it's going to be really hard for her to get that normality that she's craving. She did release this statement where she said, "Don't ask me to relieve my trauma for your personal curiosity. Don't demand me to know the answers to questions that have no relevance in your life. Don't expect me to have overcome my past on your time. Don't tell me about my mistakes and choices when I am the one who has to live with them on my conscience. Don't project what you want me to be because you find it more interesting." She then continued by saying, "I am not a celebrity. I am a trauma survivor who is healing from emotional, mental, and medical. I have shared my story in the hopes that it would educate about Munchausen by proxy and inspire other survivors, only to have my be more invalidated by content creators on social media who do not have any psychological education to back up their claims, despite multiple psychiatrists specializing in MBP, such as Dr. Mark Fieldman, who interviewed for the 2017 HBO's Mommy, Dad, and Dearest after reviewing my medical records obtained for my case, and he had a high belief that my mother indeed had MBP. Don't ask me to advocate. I am healing." I said it in not my last video I made about her, because the last video I made about her was talking about her and Jeffree Star going on that TikTok live where she made a large sum of cash. But the one prior, where it was the only other video I've ever made about her, talking about this journey that she's having on social media. And I felt like, and I said it then at the time, I don't think she should have been on social media. I understand it's a right to everybody, but I think she should have really, when she got out, just taken that time to herself to figure out her groundings, get her ropes on, like, all in track and in a line, and just figure out who she is and who she wants to be and where she wants to go from that moment. But I think her being so enthralled on social media at that time kind of blinded that journey that she should have been having. I think Gypsy was indeed curious about social media, because we're all curious about social media and we all have some form of social media account. It was only right for her to end up going and getting one, because, I mean, who in this day and age doesn't use social media? But with that being said, I get that was kind of like a real Gen Z thing to say there, but I feel like this process of her wanting to go and find what truly makes her happy is a journey that everybody should be able to have. So I don't think that with her saying, "Oh, I'm going to go try to work at McDonald's," or "I'm going to go try a 9 to 5, I don't think that's too out of pocket or out of lane to say. I also feel like a couple channels that I have seen cover the situation are kind of blowing it a little bit out of proportion, like when she was saying, I want to go work at McDonald's. Okay, yeah, I did bring that up in the beginning of the video, but my real thoughts and opinions about that, I don't really think she's planning to go work at McDonald's, y'all. Maybe Sephora, but I think when she brought up McDonald's, she was just kind of using that as like a example of the normal jobs that she has in mind. Those are just my thoughts and opinions about the situation, though, so let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section down below. If you made it this far into the video, drop a halo emoji. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next one.